Kissy. Kissy, baby. Smile, baby. Smile. Ooh, you're a good girl. You're such a good little girl. You know, you're perfect for testing my audio. Look at your little tail. You're so happy. Hey YouTube, Balbrella here, and today is the 12th. And guess what? I don't have one, not two, but technically 5 packages because I tried to film the first segment of this new location and this awesome show and stuff, and the audio failed. So, I don't know what happened, but hey, the audio is working now. With that said, I'm going to quickly run over the 3 packages that came in like 4 days ago. So, let's go over that. Number 1 was some figure stands. Really happy about that because I needed them for my display. Number 2 was All New Ghost Rider Volume 2. Now, I did read it already. However, I did want a physical copy of it because I quite enjoyed the story. And lastly was a very disappointing package. This was a card that I previously ordered for a project of mine, but I got the wrong scale. I ordered the 1/18 scale and I got sent the 1/32 scale. So, cutting back to me now, we're going to open our 2 boxes. Now, in case you haven't noticed, we don't have Old Red anymore. Instead, we just have an X-Acto knife. So, let's get started. Now, I want to know what your guys' opinion are. I want to know what you guys think of this new setup, this new look, because I quite enjoy it. And you're going to be stuck with it for a month until I get some feedback. So, let's see what I got and enjoy the new look. This is, wow, surprisingly difficult to open. Come on, man. And here we go. Alright, so this is a HeroClix Yellow Jacket. So this is pretty cool. So this is part of the Avengers display that I'm currently working on and will soon be finished. Very excited with how it's looking, by the way. And this is going to be part of it. So I can't wait to remove it from the stand and paint it up a little bit. So this will be really fun. There's a close-up, even comes with the card. Cool. I'm not the biggest fan of Yellow Jacket, but I still like the character. And he's an interesting part of the Hank Pym history of Ant-Man. So with that said, let's get this all cleaned up and go to our next box. Alright, so our next box is one I'm really excited for. It's one I've really been looking forward to. So, what this is hopefully the car, the perfect car for my custom 3 3/4 inch Robbie Reyes Ghost Rider figure, which I will be making a tutorial soon, so do stay tuned for that. This was a very fun custom to make. I had a lot of fun making it. It's not 100% accurate, but I took my own liberties with it, so that's why it looks the way it does. We're gonna open this thing up. So, gotta say, not the biggest fan of this movie franchise that this car comes from, but I'm glad it exists because, oh, that's beautiful. That is a beautiful box. Fast and the Furious. Not a big fan, like I said, but you know what? If it didn't exist, then I wouldn't have this super nice car that fits in scale with Robbie. So that actually looks really nice. It's really got a lovely artwork on there, because that's not a photo, that's some artwork. So this is the Fast and the Furious official movie merchandise. I think this is the Greenlight. Yep. Greenlight Dom's 1970 Dodge Charger. So the one that Robbie Reyes drives, I believe it's a 1967. But this is so close, it really doesn't matter. I was going to do a quick live unboxing. This thing is fancy. I can get all this tape cut through because I want to take a look at it. I think I got it all. Okay. There we go. Okay, and it's got a little pin in there. I don't know what that's for. And here we go. Ooh. Ooh, that's a beautiful car. That is a beautiful model. This looks spot on to the the one in the comics. I mean, man, this is, the door's open. This is nice, man. This looks nice. The only thing is that it has one seat, when in the comics, Robbie has two. Now for the moment of truth. I'm gonna try and get the figure inside. It's kind of fitting. All right, so I got him in. Just couldn't get the legs in. This obviously was not made to fit figures in, but you know what? Considering the fact that this is literally the closest possible replica that I can find that fits this scale, I'm okay with it. This is a beautiful, beautiful scale too. I wish the whole thing could fit in, but I'm okay with that. I get it, because, you know, limitations. Whatever, the point is, he fits, I'm happy. This is really cool. So this is awesome. It's got a good weight to it too. It's die cast metal. So this was a lot of fun to open up on camera. I have been thinking of actually including the comics that I pick up and doing like a quick mini review of them, or just saying which ones I recommend. With that said, look forward to that coming out along with this clip. But yeah, so that's everything for this clip. So on to the next segment. Today is the 22nd, and I not only have a package, but I have an awesome new shirt. I freaking love this shirt. It looks so cool. I'm a huge Ant-Man / Giant Man fan, so I saw this, I had to have it. It's even done in Jack Kirby's art style, so it's like perfect. It's just so nice, so I'm really happy. I also figured out how to connect my really nice Rebel camera to my computer, so I can now see what I'm doing instead of kind of going at this blind like I have in the last few clips. So with that said, I am very excited. It's cool because I can like see myself. You can't really see it, but my camera is right here and my computer is right here. Super nice. You know what? I'll show it to you right now. Pretty cool, huh? Now, we do have one package. I was going to do the comic book thing I talked about in the last clip. I decided to actually do that at the end of the month, and I'm just going to recommend books that I've been picking up and reading, and just talk a little bit about why I'm reading them, why they're so good at the end of the video, because I don't know, I think that makes more sense, because if this was a weekly series, then yeah, I would do it that way, but this is a monthly series, so I think at the end of the month, just get all the comic book stuff out of the way. Now, the loot for today is just a simple little package. I did untape it, cut through all the tape. I have not opened it yet, so let's do that. I'm very excited. So this is not an Amazon purchase, this is an eBay purchase. Let's see, he put it in a black bag. This is cool. So this is the Marvel Legends Yellow Jacket figure. Now, here's the thing. I honestly don't know if this is a Toy Biz or like an early Hasbro figure, but it's pretty nice actually. There's a close-up. It needs a little TLC. There's some paint that I can definitely touch up on here, like the antenna. It's a little beat up. The belt. It's not bad though. So I picked this guy up for $17 free shipping, 17 even, which is a really good deal because this guy usually goes for 40, I believe. And you can get him for like $12, but the problem is the antenna is always broken. That's a big thing you want to look for when picking this guy up, is make sure those antenna aren't broken. One thing I find interesting is that I really can't tell if it is a Toy Biz or Hasbro one, because it's definitely that Toy Biz old buck. And here's what I mean. I'm going to grab this figure right here. So this is a custom I made. However, it's just paint, and it's not in any way a sculpting difference. But you can see that this figure, it's a little bulkier, more muscular, while this one's more slimmed down. Another thing is the articulation is different. This is more modern, so it has more modern techniques, but it also has drawbacks to that, because this figure, it has a butterfly joint, which is really nice. It has a toe joint, which is really nice. The hips are the old Iron Man 2 hips, it looks like. Let me see. Yep, definitely old Iron Man 2 hips, which I like because they look a little more natural and you get good motion. If they're done right, you get great movability and free range, but sometimes they're done wrong, like they put kibble on the side and you kind of lose articulation. He has the old style rockers, and then he has a toe joint, like I said. So, and again, he's also thinner. And they also put the wrist joint, the swivel joint is up here at the glove, while here, this joint is here at the wrist. Now, the reason I bring that is because these modern figures, they're thicker, they have a more muscular sculpt, they're a little bigger. They use ball joint hips, which are very good on these figures, very expressive. They don't have many limitations. The ankles are specially designed to be tilt, and they can move back. So like these guys, the ankles can move back, but that's because they're two joints. So I'll show you. There's one here, and then another joint in here. This is all 1 to 2 joints because the way they connect them works as that swivel joint, and then the rest of the joint is all this part in here. So you get all the motion you need just in these 2 pieces. While here, yes, it is 2 pieces, but it's like 3 because there's like a pin thing in there. The point is they've streamlined it, while this one isn't streamlined. Same thing with the arm here. So like you have a wrist joint, little bit, not much in here, but it's just really a swivel. I know some of the modern ones come with a better joint for this action. This one didn't, but this guy has a pretty good one, but it's a peg and socket, and the socket's exposed. While this one, the socket isn't exposed. The head's pretty much the same, the ab crunch is the same, the waist is the same. So this is more of a modern figure. This was originally the Marvel Legends Ultron Wave Giant Man, in case you're wondering what that originally was, before I painted it up to look like the older Ant-Man costume. Why'd I buy this? Great question. As you know, I'm a huge Ant-Man fan. Now, Yellow Jacket I'm not a big fan of, but I like the idea of Yellow Jacket. I felt like it kind of ruined the character of Ant-Man. It was kind of going down that road. We don't know what we want to do with this character. We're just going to do shocking stuff, like he's going to hit his wife. I can go on and on about the fact that Ant-Man has a reputation of a wife beater. Hank Pym hit his wife in a fit of when he was emotionally unstable, he was having a psychotic breakdown, and he made a gesture that resulted in him hitting his wife. And then he apologized. He almost tried to kill himself because of it. Marvel has crucified Hank Pym for that decision. Now, with that said, I'm gonna leave you with this after that. Spider-Man freaking punched his pregnant wife across the room because he was mad at her, and then left, and I don't think he ever apologized for it. Oh, and he sold his soul to the devil after God told him not to. Oh, I'm sorry, it wasn't his soul because that makes sense. No, it was his marriage. He sold his marriage to the devil after God told him not to. And never apologized for hitting his pregnant wife across the room when he was mad at her. So I'm going to leave you with that, the fact that Spider-Man gets off scot-free and Hank Pym doesn't. But I'm not the biggest fan of Yellow Jacket. I like the idea, as I was saying. However, one thing is that, if you don't know already, I have a really nice Marvel display for the Avengers because they're my favorite superhero team, but I've always wanted to write for them in the sense of do stop motion with my figures, and I've always had this idea of a story in the back of my head, and part of that story was I always imagined, what if, hear me out, what if Hank Pym died and went back in time, and then he created, get this, he created the original Human Torch. Then, when he was gone, Scott Lang became Ant-Man, and then when he came back, he created the Yellow Jacket persona for Scott Lang, and then he took the Ant-Man persona back. That is something I thought of would be cool, and that kind of ties everything together. So you keep Scott Lang, you keep Ant-Man, well, Hank Pym Ant-Man, and the fact that now you have a Hank Pym making the Human Torch, which, guess what? Hank Pym made Ultron, which would make the Vision, and the Vision was and isn't made of the corpse of the original Human Torch. Boom! How awesome was that? So that's why I wanted this guy to represent him growing. I don't think there is an icon version of Yellow Jacket. I'm pretty sure the Marvel icons were like figures that were like 12 inches tall. They were really big. I don't think there is one. I've looked. I can't find one, but oh well. This is fine as it is. So, with that said, that is everything for today, the 22nd. Hopefully you guys enjoyed my mad ramblings and my just nonsense that I spew, but hopefully it's entertaining. So, with that said, next clip. Now this is a setup. This is what I'm talking about. We're no longer in the corner. We're no longer sitting at a small desk. The desk has been raised. The stakes have been raised. These posters have been raised and put up. And this light is nice. Look at that. Did you even notice that? You're probably impressed with this whole setup. So this is going to be the new look for Battle Loot and Battle Brawler going forward. I gotta say, I absolutely just love how this looks. And this is just a really good setup. This is finally the professional art studio that I've been wanting and working on, and it's already set. It's perfect. I love this. Now, not only do we have Old Red back, but we also have a package. Now, this is going to be different. This is not my package. This is something my father ordered specifically for himself, and I asked him and he gave me permission to open this on camera. So this is going to be pretty interesting because this is not a toy. This is a historical piece. So let's dig into it. Alright, so inside this box is another box. Okay, so inside that box was another box, and then inside that box was some foam. It's a historical recreation of, and it's still in foam. Okay, we got a lot. You know what? Man, I'm glad we skipped all that because, oh man, that was trouble. Anyway, this is the Forefathers Monument. This is a national landmark in Massachusetts, and I gotta say that this thing is beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if many of you don't know what this landmark is. First off, this is a very old landmark. I believe that it is the largest either granite or marble, I believe marble, I could be wrong, statue in the United States. And possibly the world. I have to double check that. It was actually supposed to be twice its planned height. Now, the reason that it is shorter than what it was originally supposed to be was because the Civil War happened and they unfortunately had a shortage of material. So they decided to just make it half the height. They moved locations. It was supposed to be on the waterfront. You could walk into like the bottom of the area. It would hold the Plymouth Rock. They decided against that and put it in kind of a forgotten corner. If you've ever been there like I have, it's kind of in like its own recessed corner. It's a very beautiful landmark. It's very stunning in real life. And the details, I gotta say, on this thing is absolutely gorgeous. It really does capture the likeness of this statue. And if you've seen it in real life, you would know what I mean. But this is very beautiful. Now, what's very fascinating about this, and a lot of people don't know, is that if this did not exist, the Statue of Liberty would not look the way it does. So the artist who created the Statue of Liberty, he cited this as part of the inspiration for the Statue of Liberty and its look and design. Now, what's very fascinating about it is that you have Lady Faith, and in the real statue, the fingertip is an optical illusion. That finger is actually as tall as, I believe, 8 feet tall. But we have Lady Faith on top with morality, liberty, education, and law. And on the side, it has, each one also has a little thing. So we have law has mercy and justice, morality has evangelism and profit, liberty has peace and tyranny, education has wisdom and mouth. Beautiful craftsmanship. I mean, it really captures every single detail of that statue in real life. So that is really, really cool. I gotta say, this is a very beautiful statue recreation. Now, I don't know how much my father paid for this. I'll put the price right here, and I'll also put in the description, along with my Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, links to where you can get this if you're interested. I gotta say, I'm not the biggest history buff, but I really, really do love little statues like this. The sculpting work that goes into it is truly amazing. This is pretty cool. I appreciate the historical value, the artistic integrity that went into this. The sculpting work is beautiful, and I gotta say, the packaging was very, very good and secure. There were times where it was a little difficult to get out, I will admit, but overall, I gotta say, I'm very, very impressed with this piece. If you order it, you're gonna get it in pristine condition. I mean, this is absolutely gorgeous. Now, I don't know what else I will be getting this month. I don't really have any plans, But do look forward to the end of the video where I will go over all the comic books that came out this month or that I picked up and give you my thought and recommendations on them. So with that said, next clip. And today we are talking about all the comics that I recommend that have come out this month or ongoing stories. Now this can really be anything, Marvel, DC, Independence, just whatever caught my eye, what I recommend reading today in comics. So at number 1, we're starting with DC Comics with Sideways issue 8. Sideways has become a really nice character and someone I quite enjoy. He's probably my favorite character to come out of the new age of heroes, and I can't recommend him enough. 8 issues, you can pick him up fairly easily, and it's a good read. If you're a fan of Spider-Man, pick this guy up. Issue 7 of Scott Snyder's Justice League run continues a phenomenal story that I can't recommend enough. Justice League has become one of my favorite books to come out from DC Comics, and I'm really loving what they're doing. If you're a Justice League fan, especially from the old DC animated universe, pick this one up. You won't be disappointed. Action Comics 1003 is pretty good. Bendis has been doing nothing but phenomenal work for Superman, and I gotta say his work continues in a really strong book. If you're a fan of Superman, pick up anything that he has his name on because it's good. The last thing I want to talk about from DC Comics is Heroes in Crisis. So this is the new ongoing book that's going to be like a mini, it's kind of going to be like their Crisis event. It's been advertised in every book. So I had to pick up the first issue to see what all the hoopla is about. Honestly, it's not that bad. It didn't catch my attention, the fact that I gotta know what happened next. I'm kind of more frustrated with the book than anything. I do plan on picking up issue 2 though, just to figure out what is going on, because the continuity of this is really important to me, because, you know, DC Comics, they're my favorite publication, despite the fact that the Avengers are my favorite superhero team, but that's besides the point. I love DC Comics, so I do want to know what's going on, but it is darker than I was expecting, and yeah, it's kind of interesting, so hopefully, and I do mean hopefully, this gets better as time goes on. But if you're a hardcore DC fan, I'll recommend picking this up. Switching over to Marvel, we have Avengers issue 8. And I gotta say, this is a really good book. I picked up this book because Robbie Reyes was in it, and it's good. Now, it still has the quirks Marvel Comics has right now, the PC, all that stuff. But it's sprinkled through, and it's really good. Heck, it made freaking Captain Marvel likable again. Yeah, that's something I honestly thought was impossible to do, but they made her likable, so I gotta recommend it. The Return of Wolverine, and kind of a letdown, to be honest. It's a little more gory than I would have liked, and really this is only for a hardcore X-Men / Wolverine fan. But I'm a little curious. I'll pick up issue 2, and if it doesn't really capture my interest or really is something I quite enjoy, I'm going to drop it after issue 2. I also dropped Tony Stark's solo Iron Man book. I dropped that one off at issue 3 because same thing. It didn't hold my attention. Though it had some good elements to it, and you can tell Dan Slott's really trying, ultimately, it just wasn't my forte. Either way, I recommend it for hardcore X-Men and Wolverine fans. Amazing Spider-Man issue 6 is really good. So this whole new run of the Amazing Spider-Man is him getting back to basics. In fact, that's really what it's called, and it is a good run. I heavily recommend this entire series, and 6 is really funny too. It actually has some moments that I didn't expect from a Spider-Man book, but still fits within the Spider-Man story. If you're a big fan of classic Spidey, pick this book up. Immortal Hulk number 6 punches its way in, and it's good. I quite enjoy the Immortal Hulk series, and the artwork on the cover is beautiful. I believe that is Alex Ross artwork. If I'm mistaken, I apologize, but it's pretty good. However, this is a book I wouldn't recommend picking up right away, only because it's on my list. A lot of the books that I've talked about before, I would heavily recommend picking up. This one, if you have some extra money, I would pick this one up. It's good, but not consistently good. Issue 1 and 2 were amazing, while 3 and 4 were and 5 and 6 are really solid, so it's good, but not fully good. It's a little off. But if you're a Hulk fan like I am, I still recommend it. And if you got some extra pocket change, pick it up. Switching into the indie quarter, I want to talk about Dynamite Comics Project Superheroes. Now, I only have issue 2. I'm not sure if 3 came out yet, but this is a phenomenal book. Issue 0, 1, and 2 do a great job reintroducing these old classic characters and introducing some new characters too. It's really good, phenomenal. I can't recommend it enough. This is a must-have book. IDW's take on Dick Tracy is good. If you're a hardcore Dick Tracy fan, pick this book up. I believe it's a 5-issue mini and it is worth your time and money. The first issue left me speechless. It was such a great take on the character. Fresh ideas, love the art style, you're gonna like this book. A big surprise for me was Ahoy Comics' The Wrong Earth. This is good, like really good. This caught my attention and I picked it up. It's a satire and a loving send-off to the Adam West Batman and the dark gritty Batman. It's good, seriously. Wrong Earth is amazing. I really can't recommend this book enough. Yeah, it's an indie book from a comic company I really haven't heard of, Ahoy Comics, before. But it got me hooked and I gotta pick up issue 2. Seriously guys, this is worth your money. I heavily recommend this one indie book. Going back to Marvel, we have The Amazing Spider-Man Annual #1. It's really good. It's actually a retelling of how Spider-Man got the symbiote, but from the symbiote's point of view, which is very clever and a good use of the popularity of Venom with the upcoming movie. It's really good, and if you're a fan of the symbiote, pick this book up. I'm a big fan of Marvel's True Believers series. For $1, you can pick up reprints of classic comic books. And it was pretty cool, the first series had a lot of homages to my favorite artist and creator, Jack Kirby. This month, we got Iron Fist #1, Power Man #1, and the first appearance of the Punisher. We also got the Punisher's origin, but I actually couldn't find that for this segment, but pretend I have it. This is really good. I really can't recommend this enough. For $1, you get really good comics. Seriously guys, it's worth your time, especially if you're a fan of these characters. The last one in my pile may surprise you. Batman Giant, issue 3, from Walmart? Yeah, Walmart has a deal with DC Comics, and they have 4 different titles. Teen Titans, Superman, Batman, and Justice League. Now, they're retelling stories. You get old ones like from New 52, you get some older stories from like way back when. Heck, Teen Titans even got Sideways. The Batman one actually does have a new Batman story, which is exclusive to the comic, and it has Batman Hush in it. You can't go wrong. These are really good. I recommend the Batman ones because I'm just a huge fan of Batman Hush, but pick up Justice League, pick up Superman, pick up Teen Titans. You won't be disappointed. $5 for a 100-page comic honestly isn't that bad, considering that 100-page comic normally can go for like $8 or even more. So this is one that I heavily recommend. So you can get these at Walmart. So if you don't have a comic shop near you, go to Walmart to pick up comic books. And I gotta say, on a real note, it's pretty cool to see this, considering the fact that I've never experienced this in my lifetime, and I've always heard stories from my dad telling me about how he used to get comics in grocery stores. It's pretty cool to see a return to that in a way that I honestly didn't think would ever happen again. And that is all the comics that I recommend that are going on this month. So if you're a comic book fan, pick these up because you won't be disappointed. So I hope you guys enjoyed this segment of the show. Trying something new and I really like it. Hope you guys like the new setup because I quite enjoy it. And with that said, if you're a fan of my content, please consider subscribing to my channel. Leave a comment on what you thought of the loot or the comic books that I talked about in this video. And follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Follow me on Instagram, you get to see some of my awesome artwork. So, hope you guys have a wonderful day. You take care now, YouTube. Goodbye.